Yeah, let's get going. We're almost there. Um, I can't see everyone that's joined, but I think I saw some new names pop up. So welcome. This is your first time doing this. Quick reminder, here's what we do. Every day at noon, we get together and we just spend a few minutes each day flexing some of these sort of proverbial muscles, right? Sort of different behaviors that involve mindfulness or attention training and gratitude. And the idea is just the more we practice that, the easier it gets. And so, hence, just 15 minutes of positivity. And the more you do it, in my experience, the easier it gets. So, welcome. And let's see, today's theme, I've been having a blast with this one, is awe. Right. So, one of the 10 non-negotiables, as I see it, in terms of long-term well-being, is for us to frequently touch into this capacity for us to have this experience called awe, right? Where your breath gets taken away and you can't quite wrap your head around it, and you're just left with a sense of, wow, that's incredible. So I'm having a blast actually using AI and other cool new tools where on the regular just sit down and I just go deep on sort of trying to gather some mind-bending facts about life and the universe and things like that. I'm just noticing it really helps me maintain a sense of perspective on, you know, me and my little problems. Suddenly, it's like, well, maybe I have a little more capacity to handle that than I thought I did. So here's my attempt at blowing your mind today, and then we'll get into a meditation. So, okay, so at birth, female humans have about 1 million eggs. That's the total number of eggs that they'll have. No new eggs get created. So, throughout the lifetime, and throughout the average lifetime of a female human, only about 4 to 500 of those eggs actually ever ovulate. And then on the flip side, on the male side, every time a male ejaculates, about 250 million sperm are released. And only one of those sperm connects with one of those eggs, and um, that's that's what we all are, right? We are that sort of magical, crazy odds experience of that happening. Um, and if you work backwards and think, okay, this specific genetic creation that I or am, or that we all are, what are the odds of that actually happening, right? So you work backwards and you do the math on, what are the odds of, your mom and dad meeting and their grandparents meeting and that happening over thousands of generations, right? Humans have been around for about 300,000 years. And so you end up with this crazy statistic of like the odds are about 1 in 400 trillion that for all of our ancestors to have survived and made it and had this, sperm meet the egg and so forth, it's about 1 in 400 trillion. And then you take a step even further back and say, well, all these humans, like, where did we come from? And you remember that, like, in a nutshell, we're all stardust. So this magical thing that happens in the sun all the time is this massive of helium that is just being crushed and through gravity creates what's called fusion, which is those helium atoms get smushed together so that they release heat, and hydrogen is created. Hydrogen is the next, biggest atom on the periodic table. And actually, everything that makes us up comes fundamentally from that process. So all the nitrogen, the carbon, the every molecule in our body is made up of those atoms. And same for all of these, you know, ancestors of ours. Um, that lived over the time span of the planet. Only about 100 billion humans have ever lived, right? So you go back 300,000 years and kind of do the math on how many Homo sapiens have existed, and we're all one of them. There's about 8 billion of us at present on the planet, and we are all the result of these sort of crazy experiences that that needed to happen in order for us to be here. So it's a long-winded way of getting to the point of saying, so the next time, someone sits there and says that, I don't know if you've ever had someone tell you that you're a failure, or that that there's a problem with you, hopefully just thinking of all of these statistics yeah, it creates a bit of a different perspective. So with all of that in mind, let's spend a few minutes just feeling into that. So close your eyes. And right from the get-go, then bring your attention inward into your chest, into your belly. Just notice this gentle rhythm of breath coming and going. Our lungs breathe about an average 15 to 16 times a minute. Our heart beats over 100,000 times a day. It's all just happening. And it's all happening without us needing to do anything. We just get to drop in and watch and bear witness. And this heart and lungs is part of this organism that we call our body. And it is this aggregation of trillions of cells that are all organized in such a way that we get to have fingers and thumbs and feet that we walk on and tongues and noses so that we can taste things. And it's all a result of this magical event where that one sperm finds that egg, and it sets in motion this thing that we call life, our life. And all of the experiences, some difficult, some blissful, it all starts there, sort of. Right? Because then you go further back and you realize what are the odds that mom and dad met, that their parents met, that those eggs and those sperm found each other, and that our great great grandparents actually survived whatever hunger, famine, war. All of us on this call are the last link in this unbroken chain of survival that's been going on for millennia. And it's truly a miracle that we're actually here on this call, noticing our heartbeat, lungs breathe, our brain is thinking. And I know sometimes life feels really hard and it makes no sense. I guess part of the reason, at least for me, of dropping into some of these sort of awesome numbers and ways of looking at life is on some way to point out that, yeah, maybe there is no sense to make of any of it. It's all just this mind bending miracle. And for better or for worse, we're the beneficiaries of it all happening and having happened. And now we get to choose. Like, how do we make the most of this this brief time that we have on this planet with each other. What do we want to do with this time? Who do we want to do it with? How do we want to do it? I've gone through periods in my life where I was pretty convinced that my existence was a bad thing. It's a problem. And I'm able to just kind of I've been able to just let go of all of it when I think of just all of these odds. It's so awesome to be conscious, to be alive. Just remembering that we get to do this. We don't have to, but we get to. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Long, slow exhale. Remembering you're exhaling stardust that's been around for billions of years. Same on the in breath. And out. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. Come on back. Um, yeah. So may this be an inspiration that if you're ever sitting there doubting your self-worth, or struggling with decisions that you're making and how you're living your life, just remember this is like you're literally the culmination of billions of years of evolution and processes, and it's no accident. So go forth and prosper. Hope that was helpful.